Good, Brandon?
Yeah, I'm good.
Hey, Brandon, if you wouldn't mind just walking us through what these last couple months have been like for you, and finding out and getting it taken care of surgically, and what your expectations are for this summer.
The last couple months, just basketball, back and forth to the hospital, back and forth to the doctor, trying to figure out what's going on. I've been in good spirits, just watching the guys have fun, play basketball, having the chance to have something to do while I'm at home. But overall, I've just been trying to figure out the fastest way to get healthy.
Brandon, what was your sort of initial level of fear and concern over your basketball future when you learned about your blood clot, and how has your understanding of your condition evolved?
Well, when we were going through all these tests, I didn't think it would be something that serious. I just kind of woke up and my arm was kind of tight. Couldn't lift it over my shoulder, and I knew I was going to hear Luke's mouth talking about I was soft when I was coming to the gym. And I just came to the gym, did my normal routine every day, and was just feeling this little pinch under my armpit, and I was just trying to figure out what was wrong. And the doctors did a couple tests, and they came back with the blood clot, and we just tried to see what procedure that we could do to help me get back as fast as I can. And right now the process is going good. I got rid of the blood clot. I got surgery underneath my armpit and right around my shoulder area, so everything is moving forward. When I initially heard about it, I was kind of worried. I heard people talk about the Chris Bosh thing, and I think people around me, they kept me grounded. They kept me smiling. They told me everything was going to be all right. I didn't have anything really related to Chris Bosh, really. I think his was a little bit worse. I think in my situation, I'm happy that we caught it early, and it was planned out to where I could be healthy a little bit earlier now.
Brandon, back here. It's moments like this that provide a lot of bigger than basketball perspective. For you, did you ever have doubt of returning?
No, I don't think I ever did. Well, sometimes I might have thought of different things, but I always take things to the extreme. I always take things to the extreme when I'm thinking of things. But I think I've been through a lot of things in my life where I felt like I didn't feel like it was the end of everything that I put in, all the work that I put in every single day that I came here. I didn't think that day that they said I had a blood clot, that it was the end. I know I had to continue to fight, and I just felt like I was going to have good results.
I have a couple of technical questions. So I guess normally they remove part of the rib to get the obstruction out of the way. Is that what they did for you?
Yes.
And then did you get put on some blood thinners just to get rid of the clot after that?
Yes.
Okay. What's the rehab like once you have a procedure like that? Do you just have to kind of stay away from any activity for a little while until you're off the blood thinners?
Pretty much. I caught myself relaxing a little bit too much. Just laying around the house. After surgery, it was pretty sore. I couldn't pick up anything with my right arm. Still limited to pick up certain things. I couldn't breathe really well. Every time I sneeze and cough, I felt it in my chest and in my back. So the recovery has took its toll. I think from day to day I felt better. I started physical therapy about 2 weeks ago, so I've been feeling better from there. So I think the process is just moving pretty fast for me. I've been feeling good.
From a franchise standpoint, a teammates standpoint, coaching staff, training staff, what has the support been like for you, and what has it meant to you?
The support has been really good. I've talked to all the guys, all my coaches, everyone around the organization. And I'm not on social media that much, but I've heard from the fans out in the open, just different people just telling me that they're praying for me to get better, hoping that I come back stronger, and that means a lot. It means a lot just because I think we get so caught up in so much of the negativity, and just to see the positive and see everyone around just saying positive things. I think that was good for me.
Brandon, you played your best basketball in February and kind of taken it to another level, and just wondered if anything particularly clicked in at that point that you would figure it out on the court, and then also how confident you feel that you're going to be able to get right back to that as you push through this offseason.
Well, the thing that helped me is, I think, just the adversity over the entire year. That was like an image of what I wanted to start off the season of me being. But that's why I continue to work hard each and every day to repeat over and over what I was trying to do at the end of the season. And I think it was change of mindset. I think during the whole season it was kind of like different change of mindsets of how I could be effective on this team, how I could fit in, whatever it was. And then I just try to just go in the game and just play basketball. Just play basketball, go have fun. Nothing was forceful with what I was doing, going to the basket or shooting the basketball or whatever I did. It was just me playing basketball, me using my abilities, me just having muscle memory on everything that I shot in the gym, the mornings and nights that I came in the gym, just everything that I was doing. So I think it was just me just going to the games and doing it at 7:30 instead of just coming here and doing it at 11 or whatever time that I was coming here. And then I had good people around me that encouraged me to do these things, my teammates, my coaches, the people around me at home, the organization. So that made it me more confident to go do some of the things that I can do.
Brandon, over here to your left. Just going through what you went through the last couple of months, do you feel like you have a different perspective on things? Obviously certain things might be certain priorities, but has that changed at all? Your mindset changed just going through these last couple of months?
Yes, it's given me a better perspective on life itself. Without basketball, I have no idea what to do. So just brings a little motivation, added motivation to just don't take for granted the things. I think just when I get back in this gym, it's going to be exciting for me just to pick up a basketball. I haven't even picked up a basketball in over a month. I can't even shoot a basketball right now. So just the feeling when I get back in this gym is going to be exciting.
Brandon, I got two questions for you. You just talked about how you weren't sure where you might have fit in early in the season. There was all these people wondering how you were going to be able to play alongside LeBron James. What do you think you were able to show right before the blood clot, how you were thriving as far as answering that question? And also, there's a lot of uncertainty heading into the offseason about what might happen with the coaching staff and Luke. What has Luke and the coaching staff meant to you?
Well, I think what and I was able to show with my teammates. I think we just had moments. We had moments where we were really, really good. We had moments where we were really, really bad, and then we just showed different things of what we're capable of. I think it was times out there where a lot of guys were connected on the basketball floor, and then there were times where it was lapsed a little bit. But that all happens in the midst of a season. I think because of what went on throughout this year, which was crazy. I think that ultimately that helps us out, and it brings us even closer for next year. I'm not sure who's going to return. I'm not sure who's going to be here, but for the guys who are, I know they're going to know that feeling of feeling like we could have won games, feeling like we could have done better, knowing exactly what we could have done in games and not doing it. So I think that is the standpoint of I think we're going to be just a better team and a better organization next year, and everything is. I think the chemistry is going to be a lot better with whatever that we do. With the coaching staff, they've pretty much been here since I've got here. Just making me a tougher person, a tougher basketball player every single day. Their approach, their routine every single day has helped me be more passionate and have more fun with the game of basketball. Just them giving me encouraging words every single day, and just pushing me to try to be the best that I could be every single day.
Brandon, given that you were playing arguably your best ball in those last few games, is that more encouraging that you were hitting that level, or is it more frustrating that the collide occurs right when you are hitting that level?
It's encouraging. It's encouraging because I thought I was supposed to play that way the whole season. So I think that is I kind of set the bar. Not for you guys, but just for myself, knowing that I can't come in with the same thing that I came in with last year. I have to be prepared. I have to be ready. I have to lead by example, where when I come in, a lot of guys follow, and we're going to go hard at whatever we do. We're going to get better. We're going to get the best out of each other. I think it's encouraging. It's motivation. Like I said, I'm excited when I get back on the floor.
And we've heard that you haven't been able to come to the facility, and we haven't seen you at games. I was kind of wondering how much of that is sort of your health concerns and maybe not being able to travel as much, or is there some element of you, is it painful for you to kind of be around the game when you're not able to participate?
A little bit of both. With health, I think sitting in this position, I have some upper back problems a little bit, just pain wise, just being sore. That's probably the main cause of being away from the guys and away from the game of basketball. And yeah, just the pain of watching it, not being on the floor. I think just for this to happen, and I'm blessed that everything is going well, but just for this to happen and basketball being the only thing that I'm doing for 8 hours of the day, it's a big change. So just don't know what to do. I'm still trying to figure out what I can do in my time. So yeah, it's been pretty hard. Thank you.
KCP, what do you think you've demonstrated about yourself or your style of play, especially in the last couple of weeks when you've been playing at the level you've been playing at?
I think I just demonstrated what I can do, with the ball. I can make plays, get guys in the right spot. Also, just utilize the pick and roll. I probably just showcase. A lot more I can do besides just come off screen, shoot the ball.
KCP, obviously, this season didn't play out how everybody expected it to, but on an individual basis, did you feel that, that you kind of showed what you wanted to show in a second year with the Lakers?
To start the season, I didn't. It was a roller coaster the first half of the season. But after All-Star break, I just wanted to refocus myself and just come out, relax, and pretty much just play free, not worry about where my minutes is coming from. If I'm going to play this game or that game, trade, whatever. My whole mindset was just going out and play, and I did that. I was well relaxed, and I was just out there having fun.
Kentavious, what do you make of the outside perception that your representation and association with Clutch Sports sometimes caused this season or seemed to cause this season?
My job is just to play basketball. I let my agent and then the agent group, worry about anything outside of basketball, and they do a good job at doing their job. So, my job is just to play basketball and let them deal with that.
KCP back here. To your left, back here.
Okay.
To follow up off of that, how do you feel this team handled that outside noise this season? And for you, mentally and physically, from start to finish, how do you feel your game evolved?
I feel like the team, we handled it the best way we could. It was a lot thrown at us this year. And everybody handled it the best way we could. Everybody kind of got that during the trade deadline, everybody kind of lost themselves, and that's all they were worried about. And I feel like after that, everybody kind of relaxed, calmed down, and just started playing basketball and not worried about the outside talk. And then as far as my game, I still have a lot to improve on, and I'm going to do that this summer. But I feel like I've shown a lot more than I can do. I've given a lot. Play hard every minute, and just try to just leave it out on the court.
You mentioned the trade deadline there just for a quick second. How much do you think that did affect the team? Just, obviously, like you mentioned, all that chatter that goes in leading up to it, guys can get moved, all that stuff. How much do you think affected that locker room?
It affected a lot, It was the locker room. Once the trade talk was there, locker room changed. Everybody was pretty much worried about that. Especially the guys that haven't been through it. They was worried what it was going to end up, how they was going to do it, how it was going to mentally affect them. But, yeah, it actually affected the locker room a lot.
Hey, Kentavious, just wondered as a vet what your observations were on Brandon and Lonzo, the injuries that they suffered, and kind of what you guys tried to do to help them through that, and what you saw from them in their first 2 years and where you think they can get to as players in this league.
Lonzo and B.I., they great players. They're young. They play hard every possession. And as far as for me, I would tell injury happens. Now they realize I gotta take care of my body. At a young age, you just want to come play basketball, and just not take care of nicks and bruises that you have, but now, they realize, that treatment, taking care of your body is a big part of like just playing basketball, at this level and the way we play.
Kentavious, I'm just curious, now that you've had a day to let everything kind of sink in, what yesterday was like, finding out about Magic, and have you gone through an experience where a guy has quit or resigned through the media without telling anybody on the team?
Actually, this is my first time that happened, but it was a surprise to everybody. That news, had us like scrambling around the locker room as well. But we knew we had like our last game to play, and we wanted we discussed it a little bit in the locker room, how we felt and stuff like that. But we really didn't discuss as much because of the game and how it happened. So we just really just let it sunk in. And today, it really hitting us. That was really surprising that happened. No one knew. And best luck to Magic and what he has in the future. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know.
KCP, you were the only guy on the roster to play all 82 this year. What does that kind of feel like? Does it feel like you sort of dodged bullets given what's happened to the rest of your teammates?
I won't say dodged a bullet, but I did if you want to say it like that. But I feel like I'm proud of myself. First of all, I'm proud of myself that I made it through 82 games healthy, no injuries, and it just all goes back. A lot of guys that got injured, they take care of their body, but there's a lot that goes into that. You gotta continue to get your treatment, and just take care of your body. That's it's your temple, and it's making you a lot of money, so you gotta take care of it. Thank you.
Hey, Lance, just coming out of the meeting, anything that you think about that comes to the top of your mind about the way the season went and what your expectations were, both personally and as a team, and at how they ended up going a different way this season?
It was actually a good year. I had fun with the guys and learned a lot from these guys. But, injuries and stuff like that played a part this year, and it was tough on us. And we never got our unit together and made it so we could be the team that we're supposed to be.
Lance, what were the circumstances when you learned about Magic's resignation yesterday, and what was that like for you, experiencing that?
It was shocking. like I said, he played a great part of my game this year. Very helpful and talked to me every time he seen me and gave me some advice that I need. So when I heard that, it was very shocking.
Well, Mike was telling us that Luke talked to you guys in the locker room after that happened before the game. What was his message to you guys, and how did he seem?
Everybody was down, but you know, we had a game, so he just told us to focus on the game and just get that win for tomorrow. I mean, for the game today, and it was tough on everybody. So it was definitely, everybody was quiet and didn't really know what to say.
Lance, you told Bill that you got emotional when you went home after you guys were officially eliminated from the playoffs. At a time, you guys were one of the better teams in the Western Conference. How do you even make sense of what happened this year?
Like I said, it was injuries, and you know, when I signed here, my expectation was very high. I seen the group, and I felt like this was an amazing group, and you know, injury played a part of a lot of this year, and we didn't really get to the point where we felt comfortable. Only in the beginning of the season when we was in fourth place, but when everyone was healthy, I felt like this team was amazing. So yeah, I was very emotional that day.
Hey, Lance, just your overall experience as a Laker, the 1 year that you were here, things that occurred on the court, off the court, just your overall experience.
I mean, I had an amazing time here. I had fun. This team was amazing. I learned a lot from the guys that was older than me. I had fun with the younger guys and the coaches, and I mean, I built a relationship here where I had a good time. So I mean, if you think about it, just the injuries messed us up. Even me, I never really got healthy yet, and so I'm gonna stick around here and work with the trainers.
Lance, you've mentioned the injuries a couple of times. The Lakers decided to let go Marco Nunez today. Is there something he could have done that would have limited?
No, he was doing a great job. You know, he's been doing a great job, and he's definitely helped me with my toe because I work with him. And it's definitely tough because that was my guy. I worked with him a lot, so I mean, he did an amazing job on me.
Lance, how often have you allowed yourself to play the what-if game?
What you mean by that?
When you continue to talk about injuries and just thinking of what could have, what if?
I mean, if you look at our roster, and when we was healthy, I mean, we was doing a great job. So there's a lot of what ifs, and what if a lot of guys didn't get hurt, where we'd be at. And I know for a fact that we would have been talked about.
Lance, we've asked you before, but you've had so many legendary battles against LeBron in the Eastern Conference. Now that you've had a full season and a chance to see him up close and be his teammate and see how his mind works and everything, what is a story or what is something you learned from just being with him this season as his teammate and not going against him?
I actually learned a lot. Actually being his teammate, it helped my game a little bit, and how he approaches it every day in practice and how he studies it. And I mean, it's definitely helpful for the younger guys learning from him, and because I learned a lot from him. And he, you know, a guy like that, he's very humble, and he pushes us every day. So he's like a coach on the floor, and you need guys like that when you have a team, a young team. So I mean, it was definitely great, and I learned a lot from him.
It's kind of on a different note. What was it like seeing your air guitar take off both year and just kind of throughout basketball?
Oh, man, it was amazing. No, just I'm very competitive, and you know, just having fun out there and winning at the same time is always amazing. So you know, when I'm out there, I know I play very hard and serious, but I show the fans and the kids that it's also fun. So I did a little celebration where, you know, like I'm having fun at the same time.
Lance, at the beginning of the year, I think you and some of the other vets kind of leaned into the whole meme team description of you guys and that group. Given that this team didn't accomplish what it wanted to accomplish, are you worried that the players in that group are going to be remembered in a certain way?
I mean, it's going to be hard. The season was rough, and there wasn't much success. So, that I don't know if everyone liked it, the little meme team, but I felt like we was a great group. We had fun. We learned a lot from each other. So, I mean, that's about it.
Hey, Lance, you had a big jump in your three-point percentage this season. Just wondered if there was anything you worked on in the off-season or if there was something about the rhythm that you found with your jumper this season.
This off-season, I knew I wasn't going to be on the ball as much, so I had to be ready in the corner or catch and shoot three-point shots. And I worked on that a lot, and I see a lot of improvement in it, and I felt very confident every time I got that ball to shoot that ball. So, I mean, that was what I was working on all season, and it definitely was helpful for us this year.
Damn.
Good, Raja. Been through a lot of NBA seasons and a lot of different things. Just wondered how you would summarize what's gone on from the start of the season all the way to the end, kind of culminating in what happened last night again.
Keep it real short. The season didn't go as planned. Obviously, me coming here, my expectations were a little bit different, but things happen. It's how life goes sometimes, and it's unfortunate how the season went. But like I said, I think we finished as professionals, as the men, and looking back, I don't regret anything. Things just happened as far as injuries and suspensions, everything that was kind of uncontrollable as far as injuries. Kind of happened for our season. I think Luke did a hell of a job with what he had, the cards he was dealt. So, guys fought every night.
Rajon, over the course of your career, obviously a ton of time with the Celtics and then a bunch of other places. I'm just curious for your perspective on kind of the state of this organization and kind of your experience. Obviously, it changes without Magic here, but is in your mind, is this a well-run organization relative to your experience elsewhere?
There's a lot of great people here in this organization. I've developed a lot of relationships with a lot of the staff here, people that want the best of me on a daily basis. So I definitely can't speak bad on the organization. Things happen. Maybe I did a little bit unusual than normal, but other than that, that's all I'll say about it.
Rajon, you just mentioned Luke. When you've seen a lot of coaches in a lot of organizations, what are the qualities that go into being, a good coach and a good staff, and some of those things that you saw reflected this year?
How to motivate players, the relationship, obviously, players and coaches, understanding the player's mindset, and obviously, a player-coach has the advantage. Luke knows, what it's like to come off a back-to-back, what your body feeling like the next day. So, those little things that you can't kind of teach. It has to be kind of natural and go through it. That he has those great tendencies about him. The way his relationship is with his staff, the way he allows the staff to have a voice. He kind of reminds me of Doc in the sense that Doc always told me that players sometimes always get tired of hearing the same voice. It's kind of like your parents telling you the same thing over and over and over again. So he allowed his coach to have voices. All of them had a great relationship as far as the scouting report and what they taught us for game preparation. So he has a lot of great tendencies for a young coach that some coaches probably don't develop their entire life or their entire career. So he was fun. He was a hell of a coach to play for, and I just told him in the meeting, I had a great time this year, learning from him as well, and the challenge that he gave to me this year.
Rajon, from your perspective, what do you see what's left in LeBron James, and what more can he achieve?
I mean, you can't measure his heart. He's arguably the greatest player of all time. So, I can't say what he's going to be or what his cap is. I'm sure he thrives and he fuels off of people saying what he can't do. So, he's proved people wrong his entire life. So, sky's the limit is always going for him until he wants it to be a certain way, in a different way. The way he works, his discipline to his body. He can play for as long as he wants.
Rajon, thank you. Despite falling short of the goal, what is the one thing you want this team inside that locker room to be remembered for?
It's a group of guys that stuck together. Every night it may not look like it, that we were on the same page, but for the most part we grew kind of crazy. Chemistry doesn't come overnight, and to put this type of group of men together in a short period of time due to injuries, missing certain flights, and you can't build that camaraderie as a team as you would like to. Believe it or not, the last couple of weeks, we've been on the road, every road game or road trip. We went to dinner every city, played a little bit of cards, all the time throughout the road trip. So our bond got completely stronger. It was kind of crazy how it happened at the end of the year versus the beginning because, like I said, just the personalities didn't. Guys were kind of shy. I kind of take some responsibility of that as far as getting us to do more certain things together in the beginning, but. Like I said, Rome wasn't built in a day, and it's kind of hard to continue to try to build teams
And that's not just here, it's just the NBA in general. A lot of teams, you put guys together for one year and expect greatness, or, it takes time. That's why Golden State is where they are. They're key guys together, and you build that chemistry and just add pieces here and there. But most teams don't keep teams together, and that's why you don't have success as the old teams do, the San Antonios and the teams back in the day. So that's about it for me. Appreciate it.
Hey, Tyson, Roger was talking about the importance of continuity and finding ways to win in the NBA and citing some of the teams and franchises that have done that. I'm sure you've seen that in your career, but how would you think about that with this team and the young players, the new vets coming in, where they're trying to go into the future and how difficult that is to build and how you kind of go about it?
Yeah, it's always tough to win in this league, and it takes time to build, and it takes time to put together the right pieces. I definitely think they have those pieces here. I thought so from afar, when I had a chance to compete against, Zoe, B.I., Kuz, Josh, and I feel even better about it, being here, because it's a great crop, great group of young men who really understand how to play the game. But I feel like have big time potential. They're nowhere near even scratching the surface of what they'll be capable of. I thought we saw some flashes, especially with Bi this season, late in the season. Before he had to step out. I've seen some special things from him that I didn't know that he had, to be quite honest. Me and Doe would be on the bench, and sometimes, he would make a play, and I would go, just wait until he gets a little stronger, and that's going to be every time down the court. So I think they have, promising pieces, and it's all about, what direction they decide to go in.
Tyson, what's next for you?
Take some time off. I know I definitely want to play one more year. Talk to my family about it. Honestly, since I've been out, been talking to my family about it, on what I want to do moving forward. One more year for me. I know next year will be it, not because of, any physical reason. My daughter will be going into high school, so
I want to be there, to walk around campus freshman year and be around for all those things, be there to scare the little boys away and all that good stuff. So, one more year and then that'll be that.
Tyson, what has this year done for you in terms of, have you felt reconnected to LA and parts of where you grew up?
Yeah, totally. I had a close friend of mine. I hope you don't mind me putting him on blast. You got Jerry Lorenzo, designer for Figure Out, who I actually talked to before I came here. He shot me a text and was like, "All right, no more career advice for me." Laughing because he was the one who told me to come here. I laughed and I was talking to my wife last night and I told her I wouldn't have changed anything. It's been the best experience as far as playing for a historic organization, being able to be in my hometown, play in front of my fans, play in front of my family. And just like you said, being able to take in the experience, walking on the court for the first time in a Lakers uniform. All of those things, even the moments that we had at the beginning of the year that just, will be with me, forever. So, things didn't go the way, of course, I would have wrote it, the ending. But during the courses of the story, I had some incredible ups, that myself, my family, my friends, everybody got a chance to enjoy. So, all in all, I'm still happy that I came here. I'm very happy that I chose to be here because I feel like I impacted some lives around me, and I feel like, a lot of those guys in the locker room impacted mine. So, it was good.
Tyson, Kentavious had said earlier that he thought the trade rumors definitely had a major impact on the locker room. I was wondering what you saw during that time about how guys were affected, and besides the injuries, what else went wrong with this team? What was missing?
It was exactly that. It was injuries, and then the trade rumor. I wouldn't be honest if I was up here saying that those weren't huge factors in the season. I think the injuries were tough for us because we were already a young unit. We had a couple guys that are not young, but we were a young unit, at the core. And having those injuries and not being able to get used to one another, I think really affected us. Guys are still trying to get used to me. I'm still trying to get used to Bron and Zoe and some of the playmakers, Doe on the team. It's got that can be spread around as far as guys trying to get used to each other. And then, first time young guys like that had to endure trade rumors. It's the first time their name came up. And I remember that when I was young. When I was in Chicago and the first time I got traded, it was a shock to me. It was unexpected. Didn't know how to deal with it. I remember I cried because it was the first time I'd been rejected in my career. When you're young and a lot of, like myself and a lot of these guys, you've always been number one. Everybody always wants you. And then for the first time in your career, somebody's going, you don't quite make the cut. And so, it takes a toll mentally, but it's a part of our business, so it's going to happen no matter where you're at. And that's just one thing that has to happen to you, and then you got to get over it. And just for us, it just so happened to be this year with young players. And so, it took a bit of a toll. Again, that and, and having our injuries. Because even without that, having the injuries would have been tough. But, all of those things, it made it a little difficult to come back from.
Tyson, I'm just curious what this last 24 hours have been like for you and the team, Magic announcing his departure. And you've been around quite a bit. Have you seen anything like that where a major piece of an organization quits without telling you guys or management and just kind of goes public with it?
No, but, everybody's entitled to do things, at their own time, in their own way, especially, somebody like Magic, and I honestly didn't question it one bit. Maybe it's because I'm a different place in my life and a different place in my career, but, to me it's business, and he made a business and sounds like personal decision, which, I don't think that's up for debate, for anyone, including myself. But that being said, we still had to go out, play a game, all those things. Well, I wasn't playing, but guys had to still go out and play a game. And of course, you get the locker room chatter and all that kind of stuff. But nobody knew what was going on, so it can't be too much talk. It's just speculation. But, again, I know moving forward, I feel like Magic probably will be around still, because he's a part of this franchise. He will always be just the Kobe's, the Shaqs, the Jerry West, go down the list of all of these, great ones. And I still have confidence that this organization is headed in the right direction and will be headed in the right direction, just because they have all the pieces to do so. It's just about who's going to be driving the ship, I guess, at this point.
Tyson, you talked before about how the trade rumors did affect the team, and was a lot of turbulence this year in general. You experienced a lot over the course of your career. What are the things that organizations can do to help try to prevent that turbulence from affecting the team?
It's not too much, honestly. Because every situation I've been in, I've seen it handled so many different ways. I've seen it handled privately where, general managers just talk to guys, but then it ends up coming to the locker room anyway because guys are saying, I might be out of here anyway, and then it kind of creates that ripple effect. I've seen where it was just silent. Nobody said nothing. Nobody knew anything. And then guys were still on edge, like, what you been hearing? What you been, the closer it gets to deadline. And then, I've been this year where it was very public, and it was all over the place. So when it comes to trades and when it comes to that time of the year, honestly, I don't even know if there's a right way to go about it. But it's again, young players have to go through it, have to experience it, and once you go through it, you just kind of throw it in your, in the back seat.
Tyson, when you have a locker room like this where we have a superstar that is so much, kind of sucks up so much of the attention and the oxygen, and then a lot of young players, what is the role, what is the right kind of veteran, do you think, and role player to put around to create that kind of connective tissue?
I think really understanding what kind of team you want to be, and then start there and then start putting the pieces around it, if you're going to be a fast-paced team, if you're going to, rely on Bron to do a lot of the things, or if whatever it is you're going to do, then you start placing those pieces, because if you need to add shooting around him, or if, you're going to, be a pick-and-roll team, or if you're going to slow it down a bit. And I think it also is going to be who can you get, and then you build from there as well. Like, all right, I know we got a shot at this guy, so, I like these pieces, and then let's build around that. I think it really comes down to who you can land, and then from there, who do you want to be? Yeah. Oh, you need veterans in this league. I mean, the year I won, we were a team full of vets, and then the years I've struggled, it's typically been with young teams, and it's just because you got to go through it. Young guys got experience to learn how to win in this league, because it's not easy to win in this league, So definitely, they're going to need vets here. I know the team is trying to take the next step, and I know what the goals are around here. So you definitely need at least half the locker room full of, older guys.
Tyson, can you give us an idea? You've been from L.A., you've been a Laker, you understand all the attention this franchise gets. Can you give us a sense of what the challenges are of attracting a big-time free agent to this franchise in the state that it's in?
I don't know if it's I think the same challenges are for every organization, except sometimes when you're a small market and guys just don't want to go there. Always the challenges is do guys want to play with the guys that you already have there? Who are your star players, and are guys willing to play them? That's always going to be the challenge. Does it complement your game? I know whenever I came into free agency, that's what I thought about. You look at the roster and, all right, can I succeed in this, on this roster, on this team with these other guys? What is my identity going to be? And then it comes down to those individuals. It's a big-time free agent crop coming out, this summer with a ton of talented guys, a ton of game changers. I think it's going to be, pitching to them all the pluses and positives of being in LA. The things that you said, yeah, it's a lot of attention, yeah, it's a lot of scrutiny, but yeah, it's a lot of opportunity. And yeah, if you win here, it's huge. Winning here and winning is not like winning in other organizations. We know that because it's Los Angeles. LA, New York, big cities like that, it's different. So it's about who wants to step up to that challenge, to be quite honest. There's certain personalities that can be a Laker. And, if you're not that personality, then it's just not for you.
Jason, you mentioned the injuries, the trades, and then you pair that with obviously knowing for the last couple of weeks of the season that there was no postseason. What we saw down the stretch, what was that a reflection of?
Just, young players with heart getting after it and not throwing in the towel. I think there can always be positives out of any situation, and we saw those positives down the stretch. I think we saw JaVale McGee mature. I thought KCP really came into his own. We already know what Caruso did. J3. It just, gave Mo an opportunity to get on the court so he can get some of that Mbanga, a lot of those jitters and things out the way. But those guys, they went out there, played hard, played together. I think because of that, not only this organization was able to see, what kind of talent they have and how they can help a team, but, every other team in this league also. So, all right, thank you guys. Appreciate the year.
Thank you.
It was a pretty good season. It would have been better if I wouldn't have got pneumonia. But I just feel like I really showed that I can be a starter in this league, and I can play extended minutes and be a leader on the floor and off the floor, and a lot of positives.
JaVale, if you had the opportunity to come back to this organization, is that something you would want?
Yeah, definitely. The opportunity to come back would definitely be something that I'm highly interested in. But the NBA is a business, so you never know what could happen. You just never know. But I'm definitely going to be working out my hardest this summer, keeping my body right, and just getting ready for the next season to make a playoff run wherever I'm at.
JaVale, can you give us a sense of some of the challenges that come with playing in this city for this franchise, with the spotlight and some of the things that happen, that's happening in the front office, how that presents for potential free agents that want to join the Lakers?
As an NBA player or as me, I don't really look at pressure like that. Like, I don't look at, I don't want to go to LA because it's too much spotlight. Like, that don't make no sense to me. I never was that person. Like, that's what it's for. Like, you come to LA, you getting all the attention, bad or good. But you don't get the attention when it's good, so that's all that really matters. Just keep playing your game, doing what you do. I don't feel like this year I was like hiding or like, oh no, we're losing, the fans are gonna beat me up or something. Like, no, it's not like that. It's all love out here in LA. The fans are great, and they see you out there working your butt off, even though you're losing, they still support you. So
the whole thing behind people saying this is a hard market to play in. It's a lot of pressure. I don't believe in the pressure thing.
Kind of an extension of that question, and combined with the fact that you said you'd like to be a part of this team moving forward, what would be your pitch to a prospective free agent to come play for the Lakers?
What do you mean? What would be my to another free agent? I mean, there's opportunities on and off the court out here, and I mean, we had the most TV games out of anybody, and they were coming from a losing season. So, we were coming from a losing season, so that's just showing you how much spotlight and how much opportunity there is being with the Lakers if you're winning or losing. It's just opportunity out of anything. So anybody who wouldn't want to take advantage of that opportunity just because their fear of the spotlight is childish.
JaVale, you've had, obviously seasons in Golden State where you played on championship teams, but with shorter minutes and played more this year. What would you prioritize in terms of, looking for another team? Is it a bigger role? Is it a better chance of winning? What might it be?
Definitely a big role. I mean, I don't know a bigger role than starting. So, but yeah, definitely a big role, minutes, and opportunity in the postseason. Those are my top three, in my opinion, me personally.
JaVale, if hypothetically, if you are here, just your confidence on this team, some of the young players, LeBron, just getting a chance to play with all these guys for the last year. Confidence level going into next season?
Oh, high. I mean, you guys saw how we started the season, but besides the injuries and the fights and just so many things that kept guys away from games and gave us notches in the loss column just because we weren't full force. I mean, imagine if we had the same team all year. Like, we would definitely be in the playoffs. Meeting the Warriors in the Western Conference. Definitely. Like, it was amazing the way we were playing. But then injuries, fights, and it just we never got to get our congruent starting five, just knowing what everybody does at the same time. We kept inserting people just because of injuries and things like that. So it really messes up the camaraderie and the way that we play out there because you're trying to figure new things out. But you just can't blame injuries. I mean, it's just nothing you can do about that.
JaVale, you said earlier that this season you showed you could be a leader on and off the court. How important a goal was that for you heading into the season, showing that, and what are some of the ways you did it?
It was extremely important. I was just really trying to focus this year on changing the perception of me as someone who doesn't care about basketball. For some reason, I've had that notion or that monkey on my back that people think I don't care about basketball. So I really was focusing this year more to portray it and show people rather than being the recluse that I'm used to being with people. So just for example with Zoo, that was really like my guy when we started this season, and really was trying to instill confidence in him, and now he's doing great, and just trying to really just stay positive and be the veteran leader that I've been shown to be.
JaVale, what role does stability, I mean, I know the roster plays a role for free agents and people that want to sign with the team, but what role does stability in the front office and GMs and, presidents and stuff like that play for people that want to sign with their organization?
It plays a big role. Some people are really into who is the GM and who's the top that's calling the shots, and they really like to get real close to those people and figure out how they can integrate into the game and make sure that everybody's on the same page. So I'm sure that's a very important role. Some people don't like playing for certain people. Some people do. So it's definitely going to be for a free agent signing this year. Who's running the operation? That's definitely going to be on their mind.
JaVale, you mentioned how this is one of the better seasons of your career. What do you attribute, or what piece of that do you attribute to what the coaching staff has done with you and the role they've given you?
Definitely, the coaching staff has been behind me, giving me extended minutes and gave me the opportunity at the beginning of the season to start as a starting center for the Los Angeles Lakers. And I definitely thank them for that, and the front office for bringing me in and giving me the opportunity from the jump and believing in me. Unfortunately, the season worked out, but I feel like for me, it was a great opportunity, and I took advantage of it full throttle.
How everybody doing?
Jamario, how would you just now that your run is over with the Lakers so far, how would you just describe those last 10 days to end the season?
Right. I'd say we went out with a bang for sure. Like, we went out with a bang for sure. Like I feel like we could have done better as one. Like if we just would have woke up early and what we did.
Hey, Jamario, just your entire basketball journey, how did that build into this opportunity that you had, and how do you think that will impact your career as you move forward?
I think it impacted a lot. Like, this helped me a lot, too. Like, it gave me a lot of exposure, too. So a lot of people got to see my game these last couple of games. So, like, I feel like it helped me a lot, too. Like, if I get a consistent jumper, I'll be straight. Yes,
Jamario, what's your plan for the summer, and did this call-up change that plan at all?
My plans for the summer is to go hard, like work out, get better at my handling, and like my jump shot, like off the dribble. Just focus on me a lot this summer, really.
Just the adjustment from being in the G League, coming up to the, obviously playing in the NBA, playing against teams like Blazers, Clippers, teams that are all in the postseason. What was that like for you?
It felt good, really, though, because I got to hold some elite people on the run. So I got to hold some of like the players I ready to play with on 2K. So like I got to play against them in real life. So it really did feel good for sure.
Jamario, two questions for you. One, I'm sure there's always some sort of anxiety, but does your skill translate to the next level? And obviously, you're an elite rebounder. First question, do you have any anxiety about how that would translate? And then second question, was there any piece of advice or feedback you got from LeBron, Rondo, some of the other vets that was really meaningful to you?
Yeah. Rondo, just keep your foot on the gas and keep taking advantage of the opportunity. That's what they really was telling me. So, So I just did what they told me. And I was going to do that regardless anyway, though. But I appreciate it for them, too, because, you know, they more like, they got a legacy behind them. So, like, I really took advantage of it. And, like, what was the first one again? No, I ain't had no anxiety. Like, they ain't know me. Like I said, they ain't know me. So, like, it was made it even better and easier for me because they ain't trying to box me out like everybody else.
Jamario, is there the full collection of your skill set that you showed in the G League, you know, defense and rebounding and all these other things, is it at all helpful to come up to the NBA and have the one thing that you're not expected to do, not known to do, be scoring? How might that be helpful?
So what you asking me, like, if I score more?
No, just like, is it kind of beneficial to not come up here with the expectation that you're supposed to score a lot, that that's not your role necessarily?
Yeah. I'm not looking to score anyway. They would have had KCP. See, Caruso came through what he did, and like, I'm just there to do the little things for sure, and I'm willing to do it no matter what, and I get paid to do it. So like, I'm around with it.
Sounds like you have a lot of confidence in your defense, but you had Steph and Clay in the first game, and then Lou Williams in the fourth quarter. Does that just crystallize it for you? And does that, you know, by literally defending the toughest players in the world?
It don't mean I'm elite yet, though. Like, I'm almost there, though. I'm confident, though. I got defense for sure, but like, they still can get off on me. But like, I'm willing to guard whoever, though.
Good. So it didn't change your thought at all about it. It just kind of confirmed what you expected you might be able to. They're still really good, but
yeah, I'm still gonna do me.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
You and Alex and Jonathan getting called up all performed really well and against really high-level teams.
Yes, sir.
How big is the gap between you guys down in the G League and the players in the NBA?
We right there because it ain't like we overseas. We in the G League, so we in the G League to get developed to go to the NBA. So, like, I forgot what I was about to say. But, like, I forgot. I tried to be too smart right there. But, like, it's the same thing, though. It's just we in the minor league, like baseball. We're in the minor league of the NBA, and we closer, so we got a better chance of right here to get in the NBA than overseas, too. So, like, everything happened for a reason. Yes, sir. No, thank you. Thank y'all.
Hey, Jonathan, just wondering what the feedback for you was like from the front office, from the coaching staff, if not just today, the entire season, and kind of what they saw in you, what they wanted you to keep working on.
They want me to improve my this jump shot, like elbow range, continue to play hard like I did the last couple games, and continue to be a defensive stopper, be able to switch 1 through 5, and do all the different defensive coverage, those type of things, and continue to rebound at a high level.
Jonathan, you had such a big impact when you first came up at the start of the year. Thinking of that overtime game against San Antonio, the blocks on DeRozan, and then we didn't see you again for a while. I'm wondering how that start helped you kind of throughout the G League season, maybe prepared you for the opportunity that came at the end of the year.
One thing I always want to say is just always got to be ready. And whereas with the NBA or the G League, it just got to always be like have a strong mentality. There's going to be a lot of ups and downs on the road, but you got to keep fighting, keep chipping away until you get the opportunity again. And like I said, game against the Spurs, I was just ready. And like I said, I went down to the G League for a long time, and I just continued to get better. Sometimes it was frustrating at times, but I just got to continue to work and continue to have faith in God, and it'll all work out.
Jonathan, between those two stints where you were up with the Lakers a lot, I'm curious, when you came back later in the year and the playoff ambitions were largely lost, what was the most dramatic difference in the locker room from when you started the year to when you finished?
I mean, I think it's pretty much the same. Like all the players continue to play hard. Especially me, Alex, and JJ. We had nothing to lose. Just want to go out there and have fun. I mean, we playing with the best organization in the world, in my opinion. The purple and gold and playing at the Staples Center was just a huge blessing for me. So we didn't worry about the playoffs. We didn't worry about what was going on in the media. We just worried about just playing hard for each other. And we did it in the G League, and we just want to continue doing that at the next level. So.
Joel, it was a moment or a message from your rookie season? What was it that you'll take with you to fuel you here in the off season as you then continue on with your career?
Just continue to get better, no matter what. Every day is a new day, and always find things you can improve on, whether it's mentally, physically, or spiritually. And just like continue to have like that grind mindset, just continue like just getting better each and every day in the summer, and work on things I need to improve on.
Was there any player that was especially helpful to you as you were kind of trying to figure things out this year?
There was a couple guys. LeBron, obviously, Tyson, Rondo took me on his wing like when I first came a part of the Lakers, doing like the preseason, and pretty much everybody I'm like a sponge. I want to listen to anybody that has great knowledge and great feedback, and we had a lot of great vets on the team, and I was just trying to piggyback on everything they did, and I listened extremely hard to those guys because they've been in the league for like 10 plus years, so I was just trying to make sure I just listened, and I was just like a sponge the entire year.
The last month or so, you, Alex, JJ, when he was up, you guys played very well against some pretty good competition. What are you hoping is the takeaway for the rest of the league in terms of what you can contribute moving forward?
Repeat that question. It's kind of like
what are you hoping is the takeaway for the rest of the league in terms of the way that you played?
That I belong in this league, and I think I showed everything I could show. And the time that I played, as far as rebounding, finishing with both hands around the rim, and defending multiple positions and different defense, like ball coverage schemes and stuff like that. And that's pretty much it.
What's up, everybody?
Hey, Alex, we've been talking to you for the last couple of weeks about your play and your expectation for yourself and how everything has improved and all that. I wonder, just from the front office or the coaching perspective, what's been the feedback from their end about how your game has grown and what you're able to do?
Obviously they're happy with how I've progressed. I think if you would have told me this was where I'd be 2 years ago when I signed the two-way contract at Summer League, I think we'd all take it, coaches included. So they've been really positive with me. Just they like the way I affect the game. They like the way that I've progressed as far as being able to make shots, even in a small sample size. Specifically this late little season run where I've gotten a lot of minutes. Just overall, just pleased with how I've played, how I've kind of stepped up and been more of a vocal person when I'm on the court, more of a leader, because that's kind of who I am naturally. And I shied away from that a little in the first year, a little bit earlier this year. So stepping into that role, I think it's just been a good end of the season for me.
Is there a game or a moment or anything you point to as maybe a mental turning point? You said you shied away a little bit from some of those roles in your first season. What changed for you?
The easiest answer is just saying that I started playing, because when you're on the court, your actions tend to carry a lot more recognition than just staying on the sideline and saying words. So being able to play, get minutes, and I think guys, when they saw the way that I competed and saw the kind of teammate I was, knew that I had their best interest and I had the team's best interest. And when you see a guy that works like that, it's a little easier to trust them and follow what they say and believe them. But I don't know if there's one specific moment that stands out in that. I think it was just growing confidence whenever I started playing, and obviously you play well, you start to feel better and like I said, gain more confidence. So it might just be shots going in, getting stops, falling on the floor a lot, waking me up. I don't know what it is, but just playing carries more weight than sitting on the bench.
Hey, Alex, being around this organization the last couple of years, what gives you confidence that the personnel on this team, front office all the way down, but specifically the players, guys that you share time with, the young players and some of these veterans, can make a run next year at the postseason, obviously, potentially you in that picture as well?
Mm-hmm. I think the biggest thing for that is just to begin the year, I think we were top 5 as a team defensively in the NBA at one point, and it wasn't just over like a 5-game span, 10-game span. It was like sometime in December or January, before the injuries started happening and we didn't have a full squad out there. So I think that if you look at the team as a whole, whenever you had the full team, we're a really good team. Played defense, got stops, played unselfishly. So all the things that make a team really good, we were able to do. I think it was just a circumstance where you didn't have everybody, and the timing of the injuries were really not in our favor. As soon as we started rolling again, or you saw have a little success, somebody got hurt or somebody missed some time with suspension. So I think it was just a bad year for the injury bug, and I think all the things that teams need to win games, this team could have.
Over the last month or so, Alex, could you sense the way you were growing into a fan favorite? And if so, what's that experience like?
It's been fun just to start, just because I love playing basketball. Playing basketball and competing and hearing the crowd cheer and just being excited like that brings, like, that's passionate for me. Like I really love that part of the game. So the way I play is kind of infectious. Fans tend to just gravitate towards it. They've done it my whole career, just the way that I kind of sacrifice my body, play really hard, show emotion. So I think Lakers fans are very intuitive when it comes to the game of basketball. They know what good basketball is. They've seen it for decades. So I think they just appreciated that. And I just tried to, I just went out there and was myself. I didn't do anything special. I didn't cater to a particular tweet or any fan yelling at me before the game, telling me to go for like 60 or something like that. I just went out there and played as hard as I could. And that's just the reoccurring theme with my basketball career. I do that, and people seem to gravitate towards it.
Alex, I think you had the season high for in scoring for any two-way player this season. I guess that qualifies you to speak on behalf of two-way players. What do you think of that experience, and what works about the two-way player system, and what could be improved?
Didn't know that stat. Probably wouldn't have guessed that was going to be the leading scorer of all two-way players at the beginning of the year, or per game, the highest scoring game, whatever it is. Yeah. You know what I mean? So a lot of good players, so that's an accomplishment. But I think the two-way system for me has been the helping hand in forming me into the player I am. I told Rob and I told Luke, I'm really appreciative for them giving me the opportunity, just because if I don't have a two-way contract, I don't get into the NBA maybe. If I have to go G League that second year only, might not get a 10-day, might not get thrown into the fire, and might not be here now. It's all butterfly effect getting to this point. So for me, just being able to get into an NBA game, experience it, every game that I've played, I've grown and I've gotten more and more comfortable, gotten more and more knowledgeable about how the game's played, and just adjusted to the speed, the physicality, the size of NBA players, because at the end of the day, it's not the same as the G League. G League's got some great players, don't get me wrong. I've competed against those guys for 3 years now, but there's no Rudy Gobert's, there's no Patrick Beverly kind of guys, there's no Damian Lillard, Kemba Walker's. Like, there's just not that, and there's a reason that those guys are in the NBA is because they're elite at what they do. So for me, just being able to compete against them for even such a small amount of games and sample size, it's been really good for me. So I'm looking forward to hopefully getting more of that next year, and doing it for a full season and trying to see how much I can grow in that way.
When you sat down with Luke and Rob today, was it just strange that Magic was not in the room, or was there some sort of sense of his absence?
No sense of absence. Obviously he's not there, so there's that sense, but nothing, no elephant in the room, no weird writing on the wall kind of thing. It's just an exit interview like everyone would be. There's no president of basketball ops, so there was just two guys. Thanks, guys. That's it. I'm good.
Hey, Isaac, what's the message that you got the most, whether now or throughout the season, from the coaches and the management about your game, about kind of what they saw and what they expect and are looking for you to do in the future?
Probably just about my game, that I got like a good feeling for the game, good instincts and stuff like that, like about my passing, all this stuff, finding my teammates. And just like about improving my game, probably like right now it's more like getting physical, always in that grown man's league, and on my shot probably. Yeah, I know I gotta watch a game. Barcelona's playing right now, so.
Isaac, we talked in the summer about what Magic Johnson meant to you as a 6'9" point guard and kind of watching his tapes as a kid and everything. Just how did the last 24 hours hit you and could you reflect a little bit on what he did mean to you?
It was just like first of all, just like crazy seeing like a person like that, like being around you all the time. Obviously, growing up, I really like was watching videos of him just like because of like the idea of a tall point guard who can pass and can do all those things. So just like kind of being in that environment was just like crazy for me, was special for me, and I really enjoyed it to like the last second. So it was really great.
Has your experience in the NBA made you more encouraged that you feel like you're closer than you thought, or does it give you a better sense that you have a lot more work to do than you might have originally thought?
Probably a little bit of both, to be honest. Cause right now it's like I kind of know what I got to work on, but I just can see depends like how fast I'm gonna get there. So it just like gonna depends, and us, and I also know like I need time, so we're just gonna see.
Hey, Isaac, given that you played for your country in the World Cup qualifiers, do you plan on playing for them over the summer?
Like, first of all, probably just like going to be here for the summer, work on my game, and then like whatever, or how I'm going to get, or how I'm going to like be out there, I'm definitely going to try out for them. And if I'm going to make the roster, I'm definitely going to play for them.
Isaac, of the 22 games that you did get a chance to play in, what did you appreciate most about the opportunity you were given? And you mentioned via Twitter that there's way more to come. What's fueling you? What's the motivation?
Just the opportunity to be there, just like enjoying the moment. Obviously, my first year, I feel like I already got a lot of experience out there, just like playing with those guys. Like especially playing for us, like playing with the guys from the G League who came up, JJSC, J3, all those guys. So I feel like I just try to enjoy everything.
Thank you.
Thank you.